Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Welcome back to Listen Up. It's Phil and Ryan back with you straight after the Elite Eight win that UConn just got. Final score from Spokane 78-64. UConn advances to its 24th Final Four appearance. They will be headed to Tampa to face UCLA now. Very electric win tonight. USC didn't go down without a fight. Very entertaining game all the way to the end pretty much, but let's go ahead and get straight into the game recap. The Trojans, from the start, they really wanted to get the ball inside to their bigs, Marshall and Ira Finn. Kiki was feeling it straight away. That's a tough matchup inside for Strong and Al Alfie and even Ice Brady when she came off the bench. UConn, to me, they came out a little bit rushed, maybe some nerves to start, some early turnovers, weren't making their mid-range shots, but luckily for the Huskies, Sarah Strong made both of her three-point shots. She started 4 or 5 to start the game and allowed UConn to really settle into the game on offense. And the Huskies, as the game went on, they really tightened up their defense. They put more bodies in the paint when USC tried to get it back into area Finn. UConn got some turnovers as well, and that allowed UConn to really get out into transition and push the pace. Kaylin Chen had two big baskets towards the end of the first half. Paige hit two threes in a row to put UConn up by 14 at the break. And an interesting stat for USC in the first half, Irifin and Marshall were 8 of 14 from the floor. The rest of the team, just 2 of 14. Trojans also had 11 turnovers, so not a good start for the Trojans, certainly not in the first half. But Paige, she started to heat up a little bit in the third quarter, kept UConn's lead afloat. But like I mentioned at the start, the Trojans weren't going home without a fight. Talia von Olahoffen got involved and they stopped turning the ball over. UConn's offense fell a little bit stagnant. AZ Flood had some open looks, but she really struggled the whole night. But one thing about AZ is, and Gino, he's going to keep drawing up the plays for her. In the first play of the fourth quarter, AZ finally got a three to fall. She had one later in the quarter. She started the game 0 for 9 and was 3 of 4, I believe, in that fourth quarter. And then it was Strong and Bueckers playing the two-man game. Paige hit some clutch shots towards the end of the game there to extend UConn's lead in the fourth quarter. Huskies also got more aggressive on defense to close out the game. And just what an impressive game by Sarah Strong, ending with 22 points, 17 rebounds. Very impressive double-double. Paige Bueckers ending with 31, hit about 6 or 8 straight free throws there at the end of the game. And she also moves to third on the Huskies' all-time scoring list to pass Nafisa Collier and Kaylin Chen as well. How about her putting up 15 points tonight? So great game from her as well. And overall, solid win for UConn. Really stuck together there at the end to pull it out.
Right. Oh my. Final fours are what it's all about in UConn. And we say national championships, but in order to get that, you have to go to the Final Four. And Ryan, you mentioned about a lot of different names on this roster, and I love it because listen, I mean, not to take anything away from the celebration tonight again, 78-64 win over USC. But man, if Juju was in, oh my goodness, this is a whole different ball game. So again, fortunately for us, now again, I kind of say unfortunately, fortunately. I mean, we want to beat the best, right? So again, not taking anything away from this beautiful win tonight, but let me tell you something, Ryan. I gotta tip my hat off to USC, and we'll get into comments in just a second. But someone, I forgot who it was, someone mentioned how USC did not miss a beat without Juju in that last game before this, I believe. So and they hit it spot on because again, I was texting you, right? You know how we always go back and forth with each other while the game's on, and I'm like, Ryan, oh my goodness, like if Juju was in tonight, man, I mean, would my word have lived up? Like, would it had been the end? Now we're not going to worry about that now, but Ryan, I mean, it's always something maybe to look down on and maybe just again regroup. Like you said, don't celebrate, don't over celebrate because boy oh boy, if you look at the schedule and who you have next, again, I gotta tip my hat to USC because this is kind of, especially that 11, what was it, 11-0 run at the end of the third to pull that close to Connecticut.
Yeah.
I just did not picture this tonight. But again, we're moving on. That's all that matters, right? UConn Huskies moving on. But oh boy, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be tough. I'm really excited for that last check-in video for the Final Four against UCLA. Two very big games on Friday. South Carolina and Texas before the UConn game on Friday. That's gonna be a great game as well. So excited for both of those. Can't wait to watch those. But I think this game would have probably been closer if it wouldn't have had been for UConn's defense there in the paint after the first 5 minutes. Kiki Irifin, like I said, was really feeling it down there, and UConn just put more bodies, really pressured her from inside there, and she really didn't get much going after that first quarter. So I think that was a really big difference in this game to kind of shut her down pretty early and kind of allow the other players to have to step up for USC and not allow Irifin to beat us tonight.
And you know what a good sign is, Ryan? I took a look at the stats here, the team stats tonight for UConn. 45 and a half 3-point percentage, Ryan. So 10 for 22. That's a very good sign because them numbers weren't like that all regular season, and they weren't. So again, they only held a USC to 3 of 13 from behind the 3-point line. Hey, Ryan, let's get over to comments, your favorite part of the show. Jason D'Amico said, not having Juju is obviously a disappointment, but how many years did we play with our All-Americans on the bench riddled from injury? Unfortunately, injury is part of the game, and now it is UConn's turn to take advantage. That's just how the cookie crumbles, boys. Peace. But Ryan, like I just said, I don't know how to really put this. If she was in, would we be titling this video, It's Over?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'd never be able to know, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, it's very true. Unfortunately, injuries are gonna always be a part of the game, and we've certainly had our fair share of those the past 3 or 4 years at UConn. And fortunately for us this season, we've stayed pretty fairly healthy, lost a couple players, but as far as the starters go, been able to keep all those players intact and have a pretty deep bench still despite some injuries. So that's definitely helped UConn throughout the whole season and going on this March Madness run right now.
This is the comment that I had in mind. Janet Adams said USC didn't seem to miss a beat without Juju last game. UConn has issues with a team loaded with a team of bigs. If the UConn's threes fly, we can win it. Will nullify the USC post players. Understandably, Sarah played nervous. So this game, Gino will have their mindset in the right place. We've got an excellent chance of advancing. Go Huskies.
Yeah, I think Ray Marshall really had a great game for the Trojans tonight. Great double-double from her. But like I said, shutting down Kiki early really helped UConn in this one. And Sarah, I mean, a great game, double-double on offense with the points, but grabbing those defensive rebounds, but also the great job in the paint defensively that she did against Irifin. That's a tough matchup for anybody. But I think her and Brady El Alfie working together down there. But Sarah Strong, like we always say, just for a freshman, another pretty impressive performance against a pretty seasoned vet in Irifin tonight.
One more BRN soldier said, hey, Phil and Rye, this game comes down to USC dedicating the rest of their journey to Juju. So with that being said, USC in the paint players plus motivation versus UConn perimeter players and not wanting this to be Paige's last game. I still say UConn win by double digits, pulling away in the third and fourth.
Yeah, I think UConn is pretty lucky to have that lead going into halftime and USC kind of pulling it back there in the third quarter. So I think the Huskies getting off to that strong start and Sarah Strong really putting us in that position. And then Paige Bueckers kind of opening it up from there, getting some of her shots to fall. And it certainly helped there. AZ Fudd scoring those 8 points in the fourth quarter, making those three shots there at the end, finally getting her shot to go, and Kaylin Chen getting a bucket every now and then, being able to go inside there to the paint and make it a difference in that way certainly helped along the way tonight.
All right, Ryan, that'll do it. So right now, back behind to this set. Shout out to Austin for running the sticks always on Listen Up. So right now, Ryan, I'm looking at a towel on the floor, right? And I have some whipped cream and some pies sitting in the corner over here and some silly string. Okay, let me not jump ahead, Ryan. Only two. The magic number's two. But Ryan, the problem is I don't want all that stuff to go in the trash. We got to use it. And you know what I mean. Ryan, on to the final four. Final score UConn 78, USC 64. Congratulations. And thank you to Juju and USC for a great experience going up to UConn back in, what was it, Ryan? December. So hats off to
Yeah.
USC again. And Ryan, I'm sure Juju will be back stronger than ever. But for now, I will see you on Wednesday for what seems to be a great, I mean, the greatest last check in, maybe in the history of this podcast. Phil and Rye on Listen Up.